On this episode, we review our trip to Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World during Christmas. Today's part 1. Today is December 29th, 2022. This is episode 525 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you.
So today we are reviewing our amazing Christmas trip we went on.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely amazing.
It was.
We got back Monday. Ron had to go directly to work. She worked Tuesday, Wednesday all day. I was working. So we're sitting down finally. It's Thursday to record.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we are not leaving anything out, we're going to turn this into a 2-part episode. Both episodes coming out today on Friday. So first one going out this morning, and then we'll drop the next one soon after this one. Or maybe they're both out by the time you're listening. All depends on what time you listen at. But we will give you all the details. So we're going to break it up, and we're pretty much going to cover Thursday and Friday in this portion. And then we'll cover Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the part 2. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Well, let's start off with Universal. I guess maybe let's go back a little bit and talk about why we went to Disney for Christmas. And this was our first Christmas Day ever being at Disney. We certainly have visited during the holiday period many times. We do that every year.
Yeah, my
lead up to
Facebook
this.
memories were actually showing we have visited all the way up to the 22nd.
Yeah.
The latest I saw.
Yeah.
It was just a situation where when, the girls got old enough, we were like, we'll do things instead of be home. Yeah.
It was kind of like, let's try something new and see what we think. And this was very much my dream to wake up on Christmas morning at Disney and go to Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we had planned. I mean, literally, this was a year in the making for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was
around Christmas last
Thanksgiving.
year.
No, it was last Thanksgiving when we were at Disney Springs and we were just talking as a family. And within that week, you had us booked for Christmas.
Yes, I sure did.
This next year.
Right. I know. And it was something, we had done last year, of course, we did Thanksgiving at Disney, actual Thanksgiving Day. We really enjoyed it.
We were at Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, Fort Wilderness. We've done now, I want to say outside of Halloween on October 31st, we've done every holiday at Disney. I mean, even if you go to Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, we've spent at Disney. Mm-hmm. So this was another one too. I think it was almost like crossing off the list, the same way that we want to, eventually eat at every restaurant, stay at every resort. I think crossing every holiday off the list is one. And it may still take a couple years before the girls would agree to, I think, spending actual Halloween at Disney because they do love walking around with their friends here at home and still trick-or-treating and getting dressed up and stuff. So maybe that's in the future at some point, but I think that would be pretty cool and do the actual Halloween party. But that was kind of where this all came from. And then it was I think it was about 2 months ago.
Was it 2 months? I couldn't remember when it was.
I came to you with an idea because we had booked 3 nights at Disney. We're going to be there the 23rd through the 26th. And then I had an idea.
I got
home. Wonderful, awful idea.
I got home one night and after working a very long day, and I get home and Jeremy's like, I have a proposition. And I literally just go, no. And he looks sad and I'm like, what is it? And he was like, so we can stay at Dockside Inn for all in with taxes and everything, $108. And then we can do Universal at Christmas with the girls. And I was like, oh, wow, really? Yeah. And I was like, that's amazing. And then I said, well, what the girls want to. And of course they did. So I was like, okay. I was excited, but I knew I had a very packed 3 days prior to leaving on what I thought was going to be Friday. And I thought, I'm going to have Thursday. I'm going to get to relax. Nope. So it changed a lot, but everything worked out really well. So we got up Thursday morning, which was great too, because the girls didn't start their winter break until Thursday morning anyways.
Right.
So they actually went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it wasn't like they've been sleeping in for days and then we had to get up early.
Right. They're already used to it. We're getting up at the exact same time as school, which is what we tend to do.
Yep.
Is get up around 7. We try and make it out by 8. We're in the parks, or resort by 10.
Right.
Going back to that Dockside rate. First of all, Dockside and Surfside Inn and Suites over there at Endless Summer on the other side of 95. They're universal resorts. We absolutely love them, not just because of the price. In my opinion, you stay at an all-star because of the price.
Right.
But you don't necessarily maybe love the resort. We enjoy All-Star. We have no problem with them, but we're usually staying there specifically because of the price. We actually love Dockside and Surfside.
Yeah.
I mean,
the layouts are really great.
The rooms are wonderful. A lot of times we'll get the 2 room suite. So the girls each have their own queen bed, and then we have our own, closed off bedroom with a queen bed. You have almost a small kitchenette area with a table to eat at. We got the standard 2 queen room this time because we literally were just planning on laying our heads down to sleep.
Yep.
I didn't really need an extra space, but these resorts are only a couple years old. And of course they were shut down for a long period during COVID and all. And so they still feel and look brand new. They even have what you wouldn't get at a value resort over at Disney. They have bars in the lobby. They've got wonderful food courts we'll talk about here in just a bit. The pools are pretty all-star-ish, value resort pools.
Just a regular
But they've got
plain
great
pool.
outside bars, like full bars. So we really love these. And I always go, I don't know why I don't have it bookmarked, but I can simply type in Universal Orlando pass holder hotel rates.
Okay.
And it will bring you to a page and it's going to say, are you an annual pass holder or are you a Florida resident? If you're either of those two things, you really can find some good deals. I was just shocked that here a few days before Christmas, the start of break was this good of a deal because this is what we normally get. But then I've seen these rooms go up to 180, close to 200, which I still think is a wonderful deal for this hotel. So we love it. And I will say I'd have to go back and count in the past 2 years, we've had to have done and stayed at Universal 20 times maybe or more. And I can barely think of a time, or I probably could still count on one hand when we've waited longer than 5 minutes for a bus from any resort, from any park, anywhere. I mean, their bus system is unbelievable. And if you're worried about being on the other side of 95, the only downside is that you can't walk to the parks. I mean, you technically could. You're not going to want to. You can walk anywhere if you've got time.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, so the buses are great. You go right over 95, drops you right off there at City Walk. Like, highly, highly suggest these. If you have never checked them out because you weren't sure and you're thinking, well, they're on the other side of 95 and their values, and they're awesome. Yeah. So we're already looking at spring break doing maybe 2 nights with the girls, and I started looking up rates. See, this is what was shocking is during spring break, this same room is running close to 200. And a regular standard room at Cabana Bay was like $215.
Wow.
So that's where, in my opinion, the 15 extra bucks is well worth going to a Cabana Bay.
100%.
But if you're looking at 30, 40, 50 a night, depending on what you're looking to do, I'd stay at Endless Summer Resorts any given moment. So we went ahead and arrived at Universal that morning. Right, why don't you go ahead? We'll look ahead a little bit over the forecast of these 4 days.
Oh, my goodness.
One of the questions that we get a lot, all the Facebook groups, social media get a lot is, I'm going in December. I'm going in January. I'm going in February to Orlando, to the theme parks. What do I pack?
Yeah.
What is your answer, Rhonda? And what did our weekend look like over
everything
Thursday to Sunday?
Yeah, everything. And it's funny because we actually, when I say I actually did pack everything, I did, because I actually took shorts. Just because there was one day that it was supposed to get, it looked like a little warmer. And I was like, I kind of don't want it to be because it is Christmas. So I was like, if I take shorts, then it won't get warm. So
same reason we take rain boots and raincoats and umbrellas because then it won't rain.
Correct. So, but yeah, over the course of the days that we were there, unfortunately, it was supposed to be very, very cold. Literally in Orlando, lows in the 30s.
Yeah.
Up here in St. Augustine and Jacksonville, they were in the 20s.
Yeah.
So Florida had its actual
we had our
winter.
a legit winter.
And now we're done.
But
I don't know.
I mean,
see.
literally on the day that we arrived in Orlando, it was a high in the 70s.
It was, and that was supposed to be the warmest day. And it actually, I don't think it really got up that
Because it was overcast and there was
high.
some rain and all. But then you moved to Sunday, and we're talking highs in the 40s,
Mhm.
lows down in the 30s.
Mhm.
Now, I totally get that, there's people right now going, well, right now I'm sitting in my house and it's -7 outside. We as Floridians are not prepared for this.
Correct.
If you are coming from the north, again, we saw people in shorts and a t-shirt walking around when it's 45 out, which we're not going to do. But if you're from Canada or you're from up north, you're
Yep.
from somewhere that's very cold, maybe you do that, but it's just one of those things to prepare for.
Mhm.
Something else I will say is it's weird because it's still humid.
It's a different
So
cold.
it feels like a wet cold, even if
yes.
it's not raining.
Yes. It's very where you need multiple layers.
Yeah. And I'll say this for me personally, and if you are from maybe warmer climates, like a pair of jeans didn't cut it. I wish that I had packed like my long johns that I have underneath, or I had worn like my Nike Slim Fit pants underneath or something like that,
Mhm.
because jeans were not doing the trick. The rest of me I was able to keep pretty warm, but one thing that I found, and I'm just going to make a recommendation, is when it's cold like that, it is going to dry your skin out horribly to the point that, my feet were hurting because they were so dry and cracking. Rhonda uses stuff because, especially when it's cooler here and her hands are wet all day from doing hair and stuff, called working hands. And do they
Yes.
actually make one called working feet, or do you just
Yeah.
use the hands on your feet?
No, they have all kinds of. They have quite a bit of stuff. In fact, I have some stuff.
Okay.
That I bought that is more of a nighttime cream.
Okay. I would recommend packing something like this if
Yeah.
you see that you're coming to Orlando during the wintertime and the temps are going to be in the 40s or 50s at a high, even whatever the lows are going to be,
Yeah.
because it hurts. I
And
mean, it really does.
especially when you're washing your hands a lot. That's
Yep.
where it always gets me. But yeah, definite, and then hats and gloves and layers.
Yes.
Lots of layers.
For sure. So we arrived and now I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and I'm like, it is a little cooler than I thought. Kind of wish I had a long sleeve. I did not pack anything Universal related for long sleeve. So we went down to the Dockside gift shop because we were checking in first before we go to the park. We usually do that, and then we bus over. Even if the room's not ready, we like to just park our car, and then we can go ahead and head over there. And I think there are a lot of things that Universal, I think, does very, very well, and they do better than Disney. I do think they have some wonderful merch. What I think I'm surprised by is that most of the merch we saw this year for the holidays is the same as last year.
Yeah.
In fact, you got this long sleeve holiday hoodie last year,
Mhm.
and I walk into the Dockside gift shop, and there it is.
Yep.
Now, the cool thing is they've got an extra large, which is my size. It's 30% off,
Mm-hmm.
plus our additional 15% off as pass holders.
Yep.
I want to say I got this hoodie for like $15-16.
Was it?
Yeah. So I will say and this is what we found out even with Horror Nights, like next year when we go to Halloween Horror Nights, I don't think I'm going to buy anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go after it's over, and they're trying to unload all that merch at ridiculous percentages off,
Yeah.
plus your annual pass holder discount. And I think that's what I would wait and do. Same for the holidays. Like, I bet I would be interested, and I'm sure somebody's out there who knows, John, I should just ask John Self, if right now, I wonder if all the Earl the Squirrel stuff is in the parks at 30% off,
Yeah.
because there's still a shirt that I really want. But it sounds like, or it looks like it'll be there next year because they just recycle the merch for the most
Maybe.
part. All right. One thing we did not get when we visited earlier in December, we wanted to try out a little bit of the food. There was one thing in particular that I was super shocked that Kaylin wanted to try
Mhm.
over in Battery Park. And what was that?
That is your turkey dinner. This is pressed artisan cranberry bread filled with turkey and brie cheese, served with a side of turkey gravy for $11.49.
What did you think?
I actually shockingly thought it was fantastic.
I loved it.
I dipped it in the gravy too. It was really good. I'm not a person like that, but I was hungry.
Yeah.
And it just was so good. The whole thing.
Yeah, the girls didn't love it. The brie, they had never had brie cheese, honestly. So the brie is very strong, of course.
Mm-hmm.
There was a portion that I was able to just peel the brie off, and then Kaylin ate that, and I think she liked it more.
And so did Lacey.
It was good with the gravy, but because that brie cheese melts and gets so creamy, I didn't think the gravy was actually necessary. Like for me, normally, like I put gravy on my turkey because it can sometimes be dry.
Okay.
You know, gravy with bread, it could be dry. Like, and this didn't need it, I don't think, but it was still delicious with that added benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we washed it down with a classic nog with rum for $14.50.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like the eggnog? Because you are an eggnog fan.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This was so good. I don't know what kind of eggnog it was. So there were two kinds of rums. One was a 4-year aged, I think, and the other one was an 8-year aged.
Yeah.
I'm not
like a buck or two more.
Yeah, I'm not a picky person in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just do the 4-year classic. And then we did. And it was just fantastic. Like, I'm almost sad we split it. But again, this was in the morning and we just wanted to try this because we were, we didn't get it the last time we were there.
It was super good nog. Like the perfect amount of like spices and flavors. It's one of those where I think, I like the taste of rum. I like rum drinks, but sometimes you might taste an eggnog and you're just like, okay, this is just alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, and this didn't. You would not know that there was alcohol in this. They also had a fire nog.
They did.
Which you were unable to have. I was going to get the fire nog, and then you were like, well, I want some eggnog. So we decided to split the regular one. One thing that they do, and actually Disney does it some with their festivals now, is Universal is taking pass holder discount on all these food booths. So honestly, that's something that we really have not taken advantage of much in the past. And we'll have to definitely remember as Mardi Gras comes around.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Super excited for Mardi Gras. They do awesome there.
Oh, yeah.
So it was busy.
It was. And our Express Pass doesn't start until 4 p.m. And we were trying to do Grinchmas. And we tried to meet the Grinch, but unfortunately they were all sold, or what do you call it?
Yeah, it's on a virtual queue.
Yes. Sold out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the virtual queues in the days of Hagrid's where you had to be on property to secure it. We were driving down that morning, so by the time it opened up, we were not there. And I just kept checking it throughout the day. Sometimes there'll be drops of additional times. There were not. Rhonda and Kaylin and I have met the Grinch in the past. We did it with Kat and Michael that time. That moment forever lives on our fridge because it was so much fun.
It was.
I really just wanted Lacey to have the opportunity to meet him. So what we'll have to do next year is do an overnight stay where the next day we're going to also do the parks again, so that we can try and secure that virtual. But the wait times are long. As Rhonda said, our Express Pass doesn't kick in till 4. So it's one of those things like, all right, we don't really want to wait for rides. We want to see the Hula Day Spectacular. We want to catch the parade at 5:30.
Yep.
What are we going to do to kind of kill some time in between? If these rides continue to stay so long, what did Lacey really want to do? Which was fun.
They actually have a holiday tree hunt, tree hunt. That would be the right word.
Yeah.
And it's 15 trees throughout. This is $12. So it's kind of like your Olaf at
it's just like the
Disney.
Epcot scavenger hunts during their festivals.
And then you have a paper, and this one actually is an encoder, so you had to find the 15 trees, and on the 15 different trees was a number, and the number had a letter, and so this whole thing ended up saying Earl is a squirrel. And then you trade it in and you get this nice ornament.
Yeah, you really do.
That's in a velvet little bag. And it's not fragile enough where I think it will break. Like,
right.
if it fell
Yeah,
off.
it's not like it's ceramic. I think it's like a super hard plastic,
but it's still very nice.
Yeah, I was impressed with it.
Yep.
This is, I'm going to compare these to the holiday or the festival hunts over at Epcot. One of the things it made us do was look around more.
Yeah.
We've been pass holders for 2.5 years now, and we don't go near as often as Disney. There's still things that we learn or things that we see. And it was neat because not only did you get a point where you're going, all right, let's spot the tree, which is pretty easy. It tells you exactly where it is.
Yeah.
But then it kind of became a game amongst the four of us of who's the first one that can spot Earl in the tree with the number painted on him. And so that kind of became a game as we'd walk around the tree and see who could hunt it down first. So that made it, I think, a lot of fun. The Holiday Spectacular from the Grinchmas, I believe first showing is like 10:15, 11:15, and then it's basically every hour after.
Okay.
So we were looking at, I believe, a 1:15 showtime. So we're going to start to head that way. We're coming back through Battery Park area, and I spot, which I really wanted to do, this was kind of on my list, was the Earl the Squirrel meet and greet.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do this. We walk up, we get in line, and then the team member comes up, basically puts his arm behind us to other people and says, this is the cutoff.
Yeah,
these are the
was
last
cool.
people. Earl's got to take a break. And I just don't know we would have had an opportunity to meet him again.
Right.
So
it worked out perfect.
This was one of the best meet and greets
This is awesome.
I've ever encountered.
Yeah. Well, Kaylin, first of all, had her light up suit on.
Yep.
And he was like wanting to throw her in the sleigh with a tree.
Yep.
It was super cute. And yeah, it was just really cool.
I'd gotten, because we went through the tribute store, which was wonderful this year, and I'd gotten a Earl the Squirrel cup, like a stainless steel cup for beverages and all, and he like saw it and pointed to it, and just the interaction was amazing. The photos were so good that,
oh yeah, like
honestly, the photo we got is one of my favorites ever of our family with Earl. Like, it's so good. It's like Christmas card worthy.
Yeah.
We get a couple more at Disney though that might beat it out. I don't know,
yeah,
but this was so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I absolutely loved it. And then we made our way over to Islands of Adventure, because you're gonna have to go in there in Seuss Landing to check out the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular. So we got in line, and it's great because, you want to get there, I would say 20 to 30 minutes early, and they're counting you as you come in, so they know when to cut it off. So once you're in there and you're like queuing up, you're going to make it. And then we ended up with like fifth row,
we didn't
just off center.
It was awesome.
I was the only one out of the four of us that had ever seen this before. What did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. Like, it was so good. And it was so cool because Max, the dog, was real.
Yeah.
And that was super cool. We all loved it. The kids loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this is a retelling of the classic Grinch story. Music is, I believe, they created some new songs by, was it Mannheim Steamroller? Know what they're called? I'm probably butchering it. I think that's who they're called. Yeah, it's a wonderful stage show with music and dancing and really, really talented actors and actresses. And a Jim Carrey worthy Grinch.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
I'd agree.
the makeup and everything and the voice, it has that bit of humor. I've only seen it twice, so I really can't say, as opposed to like the Frozen sing-along, which I've seen a billion times. But there definitely felt like improv moments. There felt like anything could happen, especially when you have a live animal.
It was so good.
Yeah, it just, this is one of those where if you're going during the holidays, make sure you check this out. You do not want to miss it. Whether you're a fan of the Grinch or not, this is absolute. I mean, who's not a fan of the Grinch, though? You know who? Probably Grinches.
Yeah.
So we finished up there, and we're like, all right, our room was ready. So we said, let's go back to Dockside, and let's go ahead and unpack, get stuff in the room, because we're thinking we're going to have a late night closing down the park. We don't want to do it later. So we get over there. We get into our room. Last two times we have stayed here, I'd be interested to see what happens, because right now you have a view across the highway of them building Epic Universe.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if this standard view becomes a theme park view. What's possible, and I don't know the placement of everything. There's smarter people out there that do know. But if that's where the hotel goes, then the hotel would block the park. So you'd have a view of the hotel. But if not, I wonder if this becomes a theme park view.
Yeah.
That would be
Maybe.
kind of interesting. And we've been on high levels the whole time. Like we were 11th floor this time and last time when you and I stayed there for IAPA. So you really got a good view. But kids were hungry. They wanted to get something to eat. That they didn't eat enough of the turkey sandwich. We pretty much finished that. So you've got Pier 8 Market, which is their quick service.
Yes.
And Kaylin had been talking about what she wanted ever since Halloween Horror Nights when we went.
Yeah, but I think it was different because we were at Cabana Bay and this is Dockside. Yeah. But she did get an Italian sandwich for $13, which is salami, capicola, provolone cheese, roasted red peppers, lettuce, and tomatoes. She didn't want the roasted red peppers, but they're like, well, you can take them off yourself, basically, because it was already made and he's just going to hand us the sandwich, which, thank God, she's not like, I can't even stand the taste of it because I'm sure some of the taste rubbed off on it. But
for sure.
She took them all off and she ate pretty much the whole thing. Like she saved half of it and then ate the rest later.
Yeah, basically for dinner it comes with kettle chips, which are delicious, thick kettle chips. So I'm completely wrong, but I swear as of like a year ago when we would come here, that a lot more things were being made to order and not just piled up. Everything was already made and piled up down to the burgers, the pizzas. I did not see. So Lacey got the 2-piece meal of chicken and waffles for $12.75. This is served with a Belgian waffle, one side and a choice of sauce. Did they actually assemble it in front of you or was it sitting in that container ready to go, waffle, chicken and all?
I think it was because she got it pretty quickly.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, I don't remember that in the past. I swear in the past you went and you said, now the sandwiches make sense because they're deli sandwiches. They're served cold.
Right.
But I don't remember there being like plates full of just pre-made burgers ready to roll. And they had a salmon dish with couscous that were just sitting out ready to go, which no thank you. So I don't know. That part I was surprised by. But everything is still absolutely delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when we sat down and had our family meeting about what do you want to do?
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to eat at Disney? What was Lacey's answer?
Lacey's was the chicken and waffles, but from Hollywood Studios. But this one was fine and she really liked it and she ate it all.
So I'm really glad she ate it all because the one at Hollywood Studios is the Star Wars Circle waffles.
Yep.
And chicken tenders.
Yep.
This is a legit Belgian waffle.
Yep.
And legit fried chicken on the bone.
Yeah.
Breast and wing, I believe it was. And this was really good fried chicken.
Yes, it was.
It's going to actually determine what we would order at prime time the next day, which we'll get to.
Oh, yeah.
But it was delicious fried chicken. Like this was done really well. This to me did not feel like something that came out of a quick service food court in a value style hotel at a theme park at all.
I agree.
It was so dang good. So we got all settled in. The girls ate. We got changed because I think I had to throw on jeans because it was getting cooler.
Yes.
Starting to really get like a little misty out. And we went back and we had Express Pass at this time. So we went ahead and wanted to do Mummy Returns. I feel as though at that moment, the express line went a different route because I remember it used to take you up like a back set of stairs that then dumped you into the main queue area once you were upstairs. And this basically, this was a very long express line, but it moved quick because we were on within 20 minutes and the posted wait time was 75.
Okay.
So it still moved quick, but it was a different queue. So I got just so confused and I thought we were going to wait a heck of a lot longer than we did.
Well, and then after we came out of Mummy, unfortunately, we found out that the Macy's Day Parade was going to be completely canceled.
Yeah.
That had picked up a little bit more of rain, and they were at first, before we went on Mummy, I think there was some still rumors of like, they will do the parade, but they won't bring out the balloons.
Well, we overheard someone asking, and they said they will still do all the floats, but they won't do the balloons because of the wind. And then, by the time we got out, it was starting to rain a bit. So, at this point, honestly, we're kind of like, you know what? We've got 3 really full days ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the night that we kind of chill.
So we finished the tree trail.
Yep.
or tree hunt. That's what Lacey wanted to do. And since we ended up back over in Islands, we went ahead and did Spider-Man. It was only posted at 25 minutes. So we were...
Yeah, we had our express pass. We waited a couple minutes.
Maybe.
Yep.
So
and that's one of our family favorites. I mean, not only is it, I mean, I hate to say it almost because it probably happened before that, but way back 19 years ago now, that was the ride that you and I rode several times on that trip to Islands. Yeah. And that was definitely the overall trip and evening that I think we both realized, like, hey, we got to make this work. I was still in Maryland. You were here in Florida. And we're like, okay, we really got to make this thing work. So it's been a long history for us.
Yeah.
And it's one of the girls' favorite rides as well.
Fun.
So then we're like, all right, the rain is really kind of starting a little bit. And we're like, let's go back and relax. Let's just rest. Let's enjoy the room. Let's put on a Christmas movie.
Yep.
Let's hang out. And now you and I are hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So you specifically wanted something, didn't you?
I wanted a burger.
Yeah.
I did. So I got the bacon cheddar burger for $13.50. It was fine. It, unfortunately, because like Jeremy said, was sitting there, they pulled it out of something and it was cooked, and then I guess it kind of kept cooking to keep warm.
Yeah.
So it was a little dry, but I was hungry and I ate it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Would I get it again? No, absolutely not, especially if it's sitting there like that, unfortunately.
This is one of those where I want... See, the thing is, it was literally just bacon and cheese on it.
I think so, and I got all the toppings.
Yeah, you got condiments out at the thing.
Yeah.
This is one of those where I wonder if... Of course, I like cheese on my burger, but I wonder if you wanted one fresh, if you simply go up and say, I don't want the cheese, I just want bacon, will they make you a fresh one right there?
I don't know.
That's a possibility.
But I'd want the cheese.
I was in a mood of food, and I kind of wandered around, and nothing was really like standing out to me that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I would have gotten the fried chicken Korean sandwich, but I got that last time in November, and I loved it. But I was like, well, let me try something different. So I went ahead and got their tomato and mozzarella sandwich for only $10. This is a nice, big, hearty sandwich. It's got muffaletta bread, vine-ripe tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella cheese, basil, and a Parmesan pesto. This thing is super delicious.
Yeah.
All the flavors are there.
Yep.
The bread is super thick though, and almost outweighs and outbalances. But I think I ended up even like tearing some of the bread off, so there wasn't quite as much, but it's super good. And again, I mean, short of them having a lot of the stuff pre-made, and I know your burger wasn't the greatest, Pier 8 Market is pretty legit.
Yeah.
And I actually love Universal's Resort Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I know anybody from New York and up north and stuff is just going to say, no, it's not real pizza. You're probably correct, but I think their pizza is delicious. That's that's what I'll go for, because I can sit and eat an entire personal pizza there.
Oh my god!
But that night I was like, I can't do it. So it was crazy because that finished out, and we had an amazing day with the family.
We did.
I had looked in Facebook memories, and I know we had said it had been about a year and a half since we had done an overnight trip to a theme park with just the four of us. It was actually December 19th of 2021.
Wow.
So it had been over a full year and a couple days. And this was our first time staying overnight, just having a wonderful family of four. And it was crazy to wake up the next day and go, guys, we have 3 nights at Disney now.
Yes. I think that's the way to do it, by the way, instead of ending with Universal.
Yeah. Well, when I gave that recommendation, it was much more of a split stay of a couple days at each. I do agree with you now, and I would go back and change my answer that you start at Universal and you end at Disney. Even though Disney, in theory, isn't going to be as relaxing on your brain, it's not going to be any less stressful. You're going to have your face in a phone the whole time. There's just nothing like it. Like, I was saying this to Aaron. I was like, and I think I've said this before, I'm like, when I'm at home, I don't miss Universal.
Yeah.
If you said, Jeremy, we're going to go to Universal this weekend, I'd be like, awesome. I love Universal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not here right now actively missing it. When I'm at home, I actively miss being at Disney.
Oh.
And I think that is the major difference still for me.
Yeah.
And we really do like Universal.
Yeah.
So I got to set an alarm as though I wasn't going to already be up, because when I need to get up at a certain time, alarms do nothing for me because my brain is going to wake me up a good hour or two prior.
Right.
So I'm up around 5 o'clock, And I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking at pictures from the day before and all. And I'm like, all right, I got to wait till 7 because we had a Hollywood Studios reservation. We had Epcot on Christmas Eve, and we were going to try for virtual queue for Cosmic, but there's no guarantee. And I thought, I'm getting everyone on Cosmic during this trip because we want the girls to experience it. So I went ahead and bought the individual Lightning Lane. Genie Plus was going to reach a high this weekend of $29. This individual Lightning Lane, though, surprisingly, was still only $17. So all in, I came out at about $72 for the 4 of us. Which is crazy, you know, and
for one ride,
one time. But maybe we'll find out in a little bit if it was worth it. I don't know. We'll get to that. We'll get to that review portion. But so went ahead, got that done. It was nice because we kind of casually woke up. We weren't in a crazy rush, but we're getting packed up. Went down, got a Starbucks, which, by the way, pass holder discount if you have it, which is amazing.
Yep.
And then
So
we were
cool.
on our way over to Disney, to Coronado Springs.
Yay.
We had a 10:35 Oga's reservation at Hollywood Studios, and we were definitely pressing that. But I'm the type, I want to go get settled in at the resort. I want to see if our room is ready and maybe get some stuff unpacked and then head over there. And you're like, let's just go to Hollywood Studios. I was like, I want to go to Coronado. So we went to Coronado. We got all checked in. We were staying in a deluxe suite in Grand Destino with Chronos Club access because it is absolutely the best. And it's so wonderful because so if you're staying with the club access, you check in on the 15th floor right there with the cast members in Chronos Club. And we walked in and we saw Priscilla, who we've seen in the past and gotten to know a little bit. And it's always wonderful to see her smiling face. And then Edwin as well, who got us all checked in. This is not the Edwin previously from Bar Riva,
Correct.
who moved over to Port Orleans. This is a new to us, Edwin.
Yeah.
And of course, they were absolutely wonderful. And so they looked and said, you know what, your room is ready. And we were like, all right, well, I think we'll bring some stuff up. And we said, we have a question for you. Because at this point, we were pushing 10 o'clock or so. We said, we have a 10:35 reservation at Oga's. We still got to get over there. What do we do? You know, and Edwin said, well, you're going to have a 15-minute grace period and you'll still be fine. I'm like, okay. It's like, I think we can make it. And he said, let me do this for you. I'll give you a voucher for a taxi. He said, you go down, you get your stuff, you put it in your room, you come back and see me and we'll call you a taxi. And sure enough, that's what they did.
Yep.
We go down, we get in the taxi. I hand the guy the voucher, one of the nicest taxi drivers ever, first of all. And he takes us right to Hollywood Studios, which is wonderful because it's a Mears taxi. He's able to pull in the same area that the buses do. And then he even said, he's like, I'm supposed to drop you off back here. But we had mentioned the reservation. He goes, I'm supposed to drop you off back here. He's like, but there aren't any buses. I'm going to take you right up front. He goes, get your stuff ready and get out. Like, make it quick so I don't get in trouble.
Right.
And so, so we hop out and we made our Oga's on time.
Yep. We sure did.
How long do you think it has been since we've been in Oga's?
Do you know?
I don't know, but I feel like I almost feel like we would have been with the kids. So easily over a year. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, was it with Gary?
Oh God. I mean, that's been 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's been 3 years. We've definitely been back since then, but it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
As the children say.
Yeah.
I think. They might not say that anymore. This was one of those where I was looking ahead of time and it was available. And I was like, you know what? This would be fun to do. We haven't been in forever. We're going to have a lunch reservation at 1:15 at prime time. So we're not going to get any of their little, Batu bits or anything.
Right.
Which are super delicious, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, we can each have a drink. We can shell out a lot of money for that one drink each. And then we can enjoy being in there with our girls.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and do it. What drink did you opt for?
I opted for the T16 Skyhopper. It is Tito's handmade vodka, Bowls melon liqueur, kiwi, and half and half. And this thing is so daggum good.
It is.
I mean, I could have totally actually drank another one.
Yeah.
But
not for $18.
Not for $18. But it was really good and I enjoyed it. And the kiwi was on top where it wasn't touching anything, and it was a kiwi that was chewy.
Dried? Yeah, it was like a dried chewy kiwi.
Yeah. And so it was nice that the girls got to taste it, and Kaylin ate a couple more bites, and then
I loved it.
And then we all tasted it, so it was really good.
I think even down to the beer, back when this opened, I did the Ranker Tooth set and tried all the different beers. I believe we've had probably every alcoholic beverage at Oga's, and I think the T16 Skyhopper is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think reading it is a little off-putting when you see that half and half.
Well, it's a melon liqueur,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got half and half. So it is just a creamy
It's so good.
base drink.
Yeah.
And it's a little greenish because of that melon liqueur.
It's definitely my favorite.
It's super good. Though.
I would
It's
like
not
to make this at home sometime.
Ooh.
I'm sure we could. I mean, you get the melon liqueur. We always got vodka on hand.
We should
I don't
that.
believe that there's a kiwi. Do you think there was kiwi juice in it as well?
I don't
And it
know.
did, or do you think the kiwi in the description is literally that dried kiwi on top and then half and half? Like,
I don't know.
we could totally put this together.
We'll have to try.
Yeah. So since I've been trying out some different bourbons and whiskeys anywhere I go, I went ahead and ordered the Jet Juice. This is Maker's Mark bourbon. It's an ancho-race chili liqueur, Stirring's pomegranate liqueur, white grape juice, and lemon juice for $17. And this
But
comes
it's
in a little
yeah.
glass, like a bourbon whiskey glass. Our waitress let us know that this is the strongest drink in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get any taste of that. Yeah. But I did not get any taste of strength, which to me says that it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
I do believe it was pretty heavy on the white grape juice. That was an overall like grape taste that you got. I really, really liked it. I think this was my first time having Maker's Mark. Of course, it was disguised very much by all the other things going on, but I'd recommend it. And it is a really good sipping drink. When you're going to hang out there for 30, 40 minutes and you're just going to have one drink, I think this is a good one to do.
Yeah.
Whereas yours is so delicious that I could see you just drinking and being 5 minutes later like, oh no, it's gone. Like it's that freaking good,
yeah.
right? So the girls, Kaylin got the Hyperdrive Punch It, which is Powerade Mountain Berry Blast, a white cranberry juice, black cherry puree, and Sprite for $6.50. She really enjoyed this.
Yep.
I think they do non-alcoholic beverages very, very well.
Yep.
They could easily just say, yeah, we got, Sprite with grenadine and we're calling it something other than a Shirley Temple, or whatever.
Right.
So Lacey, you and Lacey went to the bathroom
Yes.
and Lacey told Kaylin, order me the Oga's Obsession. And she didn't realize where it was on the menu. It's under provisions. So Kaylin said, and this is Minute Maid Premium Lemonade, cotton candy flavor, blueberry poppin' pearls with a bursting dried fruit mixture. And so Lacey tells the cast member, my sister would like Oga's Obsession. And the cast member says, does she know that it's like a Jell-O? And Kaylin said, I don't think she does. And the cast member said, I bet she doesn't because no one does. Because it's literally listed under provisions without alcohol. Provision being like their food items. Because then they have provisions with alcohol. Remember, they have those little like Petri dish things.
Oh, that's right.
So that's what this would have been. So we said, no, I don't think she wants that. So Lacey got back and she decided to order the Carbon Freeze. This is Powerade, Lemon Lime, Wild Strawberry, Blueberry, and Green Apple Popping Pearls for $7.50.
With dry ice in it that makes it so
Yeah.
cool looking.
This thing was awesome. So
Yeah.
it comes in this tall cup, and I didn't realize till she got towards the end, there's a space underneath it that they put the dry ice, and it has holes in the top, but it separates the dry ice from the actual liquid, but liquid is able to get in there to then activate basically the dry ice, which also starts popping these bubbles everywhere. So this thing comes out smoking and literally popping pearls throughout the drink. Like it's almost alive.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It was really cool. She loved it.
She did. It was fun.
Do you think, because, you look at our drinks at 16, or I'm sorry, yours was 18, mine was 17. I feel like a lot of other places on property, they're not going to be as inventive, but a similar drink might cost you 12 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the couple extra dollars are worth it to be inside Oga's
Yeah,
Cantina?
that was super fun because there was some stuff going on. Like,
It's super active in
there.
You've got DJ Rex playing. I think it is well worth.
Did we sing Happy Birthday or something to somebody? I don't remember what we did.
No, but that one song plays and then everybody's clapping and yelling and cheering. And I think it's well worth the price of these drinks. I mean, again, we got out of there 60. I mean, it was 60, 70 bucks for us to stand there for 30 minutes. We didn't have a seat. We stood at one of the areas. They put other people with you, but I think it's pretty tough to beat this atmosphere. Fun. And if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a must. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, I think it's worth trying to get. If you have a hard time, of course, getting this 60 days out, you can try Mouse Dining. Just go to msmfriends.com and sign up for their free service.
Yes.
All right. So from here, the girls were hungry and were like, we're going to eat at 1:15. Okay. So you can't eat too much, but they really, really wanted a pretzel. And where did they want it from?
Baseline Tap House.
which twist our arms, right?
Right. We got to go see Mike.
Yes.
So it was awesome.
We had not seen Mike in quite some time.
No. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
So we got pretzel and of course double cheese. And then it was a little busy at Hollywood.
Yeah, it
so
was.
we did some shopping before our lunch. And really just more look though. We didn't really buy too much.
No, we didn't. We
Kaylin got her.
We each had a $50 gift card
Mhm.
as presents from various sources. And so we each knew we wanted, to do some shopping. And Kaylin ended up getting some Spider-Man sweatpants.
She did.
I love that kid. She
Yep.
just makes me laugh. She was so excited about these sweatpants. Let's dive into something that we truly utilized firsthand for the first time with the DAS pass.
Yes, we did. Especially with Lacey and her anxiety, we signed up for all of this. And yeah, it was great because you just, we went to a Blue Umbrella cast member and got her all registered for it. But you can actually go and pre-register for it if you'd like.
Yeah, you can do that you have to do it online. You'll set up a video conference basically, and you can do this 30 days in advance of a park visit, but no less than 2 days before your arrival. Now, the benefit in doing it this way with the video conference is at that time, they will actually pre-book you 2 DAS return times for each of your days in the park.
That's nice.
Whereas when you do go up to the Blue Umbrellas guest service and you register in person day of, that's the moment you can start booking them.
Right.
And the one thing that they have done that is incredible and an upgrade is they now have it bookable through My Disney Experience.
Yes.
So, again, the way that it basically works is that for the most part, let's just say Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a 60-minute wait.
Mm-hmm.
And at 11 o'clock, you go to book it. It's going to most likely give you a return time around noon, 60 minutes later. It is not instant access or anything.
Right.
It's basically just keeping you from standing in line.
Right.
Lacey has not visited Disney in over a year. And even when we're at Universal, 99% of the time, we're using our Express Pass.
Right.
So we're getting through quick. Or the other 1%, it's a 15-minute or less wait. Even though Disney's not new to her, her anxiety really kicks in and she experiences it most with new offerings. So after a year of being at Disney, in a lot of ways, this is new to her.
Right.
One of the things I think that really helped, and I know everybody's, kids are different and different things that they deal with, is she's been really into this puzzle game on her iPhone. And so for any of the time we did have to wait or any of the times where it was super crowded, she would just dig her head in that puzzle game and she did really, really well.
Yep.
In the past, like we've literally left to go somewhere new and she has thrown up every single time in our vehicle because we were going somewhere that she was unfamiliar with. I mean, heck, the one time we were going to Disney, which we had been to 100 times, we were going to Fort Wilderness, which we had stayed at dozens of times, but we were renting that camper and that was unfamiliar to her and it literally made her sick to her stomach. So we felt that it was going to be really good to utilize this and we had a wonderful, wonderful experience with it. So our first booking, we actually booked Runaway Railway.
Yes.
And we were able to ride that. We were then able to book Midway Mania.
Yes.
And so a couple things to note. You could wake up that morning, you're at your resort, you're going to Hollywood Studios, and you look in My Disney Experience, you're all registered or somebody in your party's registered, and you go, hey, here's a disability access service. I'm going to click it. Says right now I could book Runaway Railway. I go to click it and it's going to say you must be scanned into the park. So you have to be scanned you have to be inside of the park that you're getting a DAS pass for at that time or whatever. So something to note. As soon as you scan in, so as soon as we scanned into Mickey's Runaway Railway up front with the DAS, and that needs to be the lead guest also.
Correct.
And you're going to go through the Lightning Lane line. So you're basically going into a Lightning Lane, a Genie Plus area. So she would scan first. The rest of us can scan. As soon as all 4 of us is scanned, we can go back and book that next return time. So you can hold one at a time, much like Genie Plus in a sense. So we went ahead and did Midway Mania. Who won?
You.
It was so fun doing again with the girls and just hearing them behind us.
That
and
was fun.
it was
They
wonderful.
sat together, which was super cool.
Yes. Our one thing we told the girls said, look, here's your gift to us during this trip.
Yep. Just get along
Just get along.
and be nice to each other.
They did really, really well.
They did. They did very well. Well,
as long as Lacey
and
didn't
then-
physically touch
Right.
Kaylin.
But then they had a sister secret that weekend.
Yeah. What was that all about, dude?
Don't you know?
Yes, I do. But
Oh.
I'm saying like what? They formed
Yeah.
a sister secret.
I know. They had a sister, and I was
Talk about
like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And it was so funny because when they did, I didn't even try to bat an eye at anything else. Like I was like, I'm leaving this alone. All right, you have your secret. That's great.
I mean, legit whispering.
Yeah.
Again, as long as Lacey didn't touch Kaylin.
Right.
If she physically touches her, it's not pretty.
No. But yeah, Kaylin has a little crush, and that's what it's all about. And I love that it has kind of brought them together. And
Yeah. So we might on the next well, not the next episode because we're going to be recording that before this happens. But Kaylin will be going. Oh, is she going to kill me if I say it? How's this going to get back to her? Anybody that listens that knows Kaylin, don't tell her. But she's going on her first little date Friday evening.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Mhm.
So we'll let you know how that goes. But
the boy is really sweet.
oh, he's
and
the
we
absolute
know
best.
him
Yeah, we
and
know
his
him and his parents, and they're all incredible.
So I'm like, if this is gonna be, I'm like, let this be because
Right.
it's amazing. So
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. She's gonna be 15 in 2 weeks from today.
14 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
2 weeks from
she
today.
is wanting to take her test as drive as
I
well.
know. Oh boy. All right, so let's move on to our lunch.
Yes.
So one of the other things, we really wanted the girls to get to do the things that they wanted, and as we say, we weren't creating a to-do list that we had to check off.
Correct.
There are plenty of things that were on our list that we didn't get to do. And our biggest thing was just having a wonderful time, spending time with our girls, spending our time as a family. But one thing we sat down and said, I said, all right, I got 2 reservations. One was for like 1 o'clock and one was for 4 p.m. I said, I've got sci-fi at 1, or I've got 50s prime time at 4, which I can try and move up.
Right.
Which do you guys want to do? And both the girls said 50s prime time.
Which I was surprised at, but I was excited for.
Yeah. So I was able to cancel sci-fi, and then through Mouse Dining and an alert, I was able to get alerted and get a 115 for 50s prime time.
Awesome.
Talk about 50s prime time, because
Oh,
it was
so good.
a little different this time.
Yes, they were very, very busy. So I hate to say it like this, which I'm sure you were actually kind of happy about. But a lot of times what they do when you sit down for 50s prime time is they literally like if you put your elbows on the table, they'll say stuff and they'll just kind of play with you. And,
Take your hat off.
yep. I mean, it's back in the 50s. So they're talking and, kind of pulling you out. Like if Jeremy has his hat on, he'll get in trouble and stuff like that. So they did none of that at all. They were that busy. But he did say there was a little game, and he was like, how many can you name? Name 20 or more.
Disney animated movies with one word.
Mm-hmm.
So it was written on a napkin, and gave us a pen, and he was like, I'll be right back. See how many you can come up with, which was super fun. And it was one of those where all of a sudden it's like the girls aren't staring at their phones.
Right.
Nobody's staring at phones. All 4 of us are collectively trying to shout out names.
Mm-hmm.
Within, I think, 10 minutes or so, when he came back, we had 23.
I think so.
And and then of course, after we're done and we turn it in, we're like, oh man, this one. But It was a fun game. Like, I thought it was something that I could almost see us coming up with in other scenarios. This would have been a great one where you come up with some of these ideas and you go, oh, we got to wait in a queue for a ride. Here's an idea. Let's play a game.
Yeah.
I got a pad of paper and I got a pen or a pencil. It's in my park bag. And maybe ahead of time, you go ahead and you write these down. So on page 1, you put 20 Disney animated films, including Pixar and stuff,
Right.
with one word titles. Okay. Next page, flip it over. Maybe you just say name, and you could set a time limit on it. Name 20 Star Wars characters. Right? Name in general, X number of Pixar movies. Name, you could come up with all these different ideas and have that as a go-to in your park bag when you're waiting in a queue or you're waiting for your meal or whatever. So you and I, Kaylin wanted a sweet tea.
Yep.
Love sweet tea. Gets that everywhere, especially if you're getting at 50s prime time.
yeah.
If that's going to be like your mom's sweet tea. Lacey got a Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
And then you and I opted for something out of Dad's liquor cabinet, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did.
These are not on the menu, but they do have a full bar at Tune-In
Yes.
Lounge. What did you get? What is your new go-to here?
Dirty martini.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was a good one?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. And that's now pretty much where we go somewhere. The first thing Rhonda orders is a dirty martini. And now the first thing I order is an old fashioned, which was very, very good as well. Pretty classic, standard, but I liked it. I'm still at the point where they're like, what whiskey would you like? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, just house, whatever you have. You decide. I don't know what I'm doing. But it was great. So the girls, these are great portions. Let's say that. And the girls decided they were going to split something, which I'm super thankful for, because they were not part of the Clean Plate Club at the end. You and I were.
We were, but
still got stickers.
and we were
I was a little upset about it. Kind of felt like cheating. It was kind of like a participation trophy at this point. I don't
but
know
we
about
would
that,
have
man.
let them have whatever they wanted.
Yes.
But it was nice that they did want to share and they,
agree on something.
Exactly. They opted for the Caesar salad with chicken. So, of course, it's romaine lettuce tossed with Caesar dressing, grated Parmesan, and garlic croutons for $17. It was great. We tasted the chicken because they didn't eat all of it.
No.
So we helped them out on that a little bit and tasted it for the research purposes. And the chicken was grilled and just
really
perfect.
Good. Yeah. Super
So good.
flavorful. Like, it tasted like it was legit grilled on a grill.
Yeah. And then, of course, the salad was great. And
Well, Kaylin felt as though the salad was underdressed.
I just started
I
saying
thought it
she
was
thought
absolutely perfect.
Right.
I thought any more dressing would have been too much.
And she
I
could've-
don't know if they didn't mix it up enough.
Or she, I think, could have possibly asked for maybe some on the
Yeah.
side.
And I think it got to a point where we were like, oh, and she like exclaimed, like, we're like, are you going to eat any more? And she's like, well, I didn't really think there was enough dressing. And we're like, okay, you could have told us that 15 minutes ago. We could have asked for more. And at that
Right.
point, she was kind of like, well, I'm done. Based on what Lacey had gotten at Pier 8 Market the night before, I knew before going in what I wanted, and we decided to split as well. What did we go for?
Aunt Liz's golden fried chicken, and this is served with roasted garlic, mashed potatoes, chicken gravy, and seasonal vegetables for
Which was corn.
$26.
Yep.
And the whole thing was fantastic.
Yeah.
So good. Like, we cleaned our plates where, in fact, I don't know if I said this to you then. I was like, I probably could have almost gotten my own.
I think I could have as well.
It was so good.
I mean, I was picking
and
bones.
I know.
Like,
and I was almost still hungry after that.
the mashed potatoes were perfect,
Oh, they were.
creamy. The gravy was very, very flavorful. I don't know what they did to this corn because I'm pretty sure it was just dumped out of a can, but it was super delicious.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I loved the corn. And the chicken, I would liken very much to Publix, but not quite as bready.
Mm-hmm.
So really that balance of the super tender, like moist chicken with that crunch from the fried breading. This was some of my favorite fried chicken I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd put it up against Publix because it actually felt lighter. I think like Publix has a lot of breading, and it's one of the reasons I love it. I love breading on fried chicken, but almost to the point sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
And this was perfect.
And what was, after eating this, what is the next thing you would like to try now?
What, at 50s prime time?
No.
Oh.
You said because of eating this, you want to try Art Smith's chicken.
Oh yeah, I got to go there and get his fried chicken, which I mean they're going to charge you like $79 for it. And I mean honestly, $26 is a lot, but this is another one of those where normally I think you are paying for atmosphere, you're paying for interaction, and you are getting a dang good meal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know both of us probably could have eaten more, but I think it was still suitable for us to split.
Yeah.
Which puts it at $13 a person basically.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's awful. So from here, we were ready for Cosmic Rewind.
Yay.
So we were going to skyline over to Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say for the first time in history, we did not stop at Riviera and visit Bar Riva.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
that's
were you
true.
proud of me? Because all I
yeah.
wanted to do was stop at Bar Riva and say hello. And I was like, nope, family, we're not here for that. We're going. I didn't even say a word.
Wow.
Didn't even budge. We got on the Skyliner. We rode it all the way over to Epcot. And it was time for the girls to experience Cosmic Rewind for the first time ever. So one of the other things with the DAS pass, if you were unaware of, because they don't technically offer DAS for Cosmic Rewind. So you have to have purchase an individual lightning lane,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to have a virtual queue.
Correct.
So, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because today we had an individual lightning lane. So we're going straight in there. We're getting right to it. If you have and you're basically, that's your DAS if you bought it. If you are doing virtual queue, there are umbrellas right outside there to the left of the entrance. You will go up and say, I have a virtual queue for Cosmic Rewind. I have a return time. I have DAS. They'll basically swap your virtual queue for an individual lightning lane, and then that's where you go through.
Right.
So you do bypass the normal queue, which takes you through a lot of that wonders of, Xandar and the models and the little kind of pre-show where they're interviewing Peter Quill and Gamora. You will miss that because you're going to go through the lightning lane,
right?
But it's just something to note. So if you yourself or somebody in your family has that disability, you have the DAS pass and you're thinking, I got a virtual queue. I still might be waiting 20, 30 minutes and I'm not sure that we can do that as a group or whatever. Just know that you basically traded in. Mm-hmm. What did the girls think of
Well, it was
Cosmic
super
Rewind?
fun because we rode with each of one. Mm-hmm. And I just tried to watch. I was with Kaylin. I just tried to watch her face the whole time.
It's not an easy task on Cosmic Rewind.
It's not, but I did it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. She loved it. She thought it was so fun from beginning to end. And it was super funny because we asked about the song and they barely oh, wait, I guess there was a song. They were more just enthralled in that amazing ride and they just loved it and actually put it up there pretty top notch.
Yeah, Lacey said first of all, I think they both think it is their favorite attraction at Disney World.
Yes, they did.
When you include Universal, Lacey said Velocicoaster is still number 1, Cosmic is now number 2, and Kaylin said that Hagrid's is number 1 and Cosmic is now number 2. So,
love it.
And then I told them, because what I think, I said, for example, I said, basically, I think Velocicoaster is the best coaster. Mm-hmm. Hagrid's is the best attraction. Cosmic Rewind is the best experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it dependent on what you're looking for, I think either of those can rank as number 1.
Right.
But all in all, yeah, they absolutely loved it.
And then
I was
super
so
funny.
thankful we got a chance to take them on it.
Yes. And then it was super funny because we were like, do you love it enough? Would you like to do it again tomorrow? And actually prior to this, we were talking about the price and how much we paid for it. And both girls were like, well, Lacey not so much, but Kaylin is always that amazing one that's like, you spent what on it? And was like, oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that. And she just, so the funniest part is afterwards I said, so was it worth the money? She was like, yep, sure was.
Yeah.
And then they both were like, yes, it was. And then I said, would you like to do it again tomorrow, even if it cost us? And they were like, yes, we would. Yeah, and it was awesome.
Because that was the plan, the plan was if we couldn't snag a virtual queue on Christmas Eve was just to go ahead and buy one.
Absolutely.
Because we wanted them to experience it again. After this, we did some additional shopping all throughout Epcot, and we knew we wanted to get back over to the resort.
At this point, this was one of the days where it was so cold.
Not Friday. Friday was tolerable because we're still on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Friday was tolerable.
I got ahead of myself.
Yes,
sorry.
you did. But yeah, so we were doing some shopping. We knew we wanted to get back to Chronos Club because they're going to have dinner offerings, and then this was going to be the night that we were going to close out Hollywood. But it was going to be the night that it was going to start to really drop.
Yeah.
So this was when because we went to try and get a DAS for Remy's. But we did not. But we were in the back. We were
down.
Yeah, it was down. So we were near the back. So I said, "All right, why don't instead of going to all the way front and catching a bus, let's go ahead and walk to Beach Club, and we'll go ahead and just take an Uber back to Coronado." Mm-hmm. So I'm like, "All right, and I'm real weird about it. Like, I don't want to order an Uber that says it's 10 minutes away and we're a 10-minute away walk.
Right.
Like, I like to almost be there." And go, all right, I'm going to order it now. And I stand here for 10 minutes. I stand here for 10 minutes. So we go and we're actually walking through and we're looking at the carousel, the gingerbread carousel. And I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and order my Uber. And I get it all ordered and go up front and we're waiting. And I'm like, all right, it's, however many minutes away. And I think you were even like, that's weird. They're usually a lot quicker than that. Right. Because I was like, it's like 7 minutes away. Usually they're like a minute away, 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, and you're like, well, what are we getting in? And I was like, Camry. You're like, okay, so we're looking for a Camry. Yeah, gray Camry. I drive a gray Camry. So I'm not very inventive or improvisational at this point. So we're sitting there waiting, and I'm like, it should be coming any second. All right, yep, they're turning. Here it comes. And then they didn't know I had ordered a minivan.
Yeah.
And so I look up, and I'm like, I don't see it. Maybe we should just get in this minivan. And all three of you were like, did you just pay for that?
Yeah.
So an Uber was going to be about 10. The minivan was 30.
Oh my goodness.
But I am never going to do a minivan all the time. I'm never going to do a minivan every time. This was a time to do one.
Yeah. Okay.
And what was so neat, we would come to realize by Sunday, and I'll just say it now so I don't forget next episode, by Sunday, we realized we did every possible means of Disney transportation there was.
Mm-hmm.
We did a sky, right? We'd already done, we did a Mears taxi. Let's start there. We did a Mears taxi.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Skyliner.
Yep.
We did a bus.
Yep.
We would end up doing a monorail.
Mm-hmm.
We would end up doing not only the big ferry boat,
right?
We would also do
Yep.
the smaller boat
Yep.
from from Magic Kingdom over to Wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
We did a minivan.
Mm-hmm.
We did an Uber. So it was 8 different modes of transportation that we did over the course of these 3 days.
Yep.
But I don't think there's really anything like the experience of a minivan. Debbie, our driver, was amazing.
Yeah.
We chatted with her the whole time. You know exactly what we're getting. They're always clean. They're always comfy. The cast members are driving them. They're super knowledgeable. They know where they're going. They know what they're doing. They got Disney music playing. They've got USB cords ready to charge your devices if you need it. They've got car seats. If you have kids in car seat ages, they're going to have up to 2 of those. So I was just super happy to do that as almost like a little surprise to you guys. And I think you all were surprised and everybody really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just, I think, took us by surprise and were thrown off and thinking it is expensive, but, it was Christmas, right?
It was awesome. So we headed back and, got into the room and all and settled back in a little bit. And then we wanted to go up and check out basically what was going to be our dinner up at Chronos Club. We were, really going to take advantage of the breakfast and dinner offerings.
Absolutely.
And plan our days around that a little bit. Went back up who we had met on a previous trip here. Sydney, Joy, and Patty all working.
Yep.
Super sad though, because they will be leaving us soon. They're a college program.
Yep.
And I will just say, people often say how incredible and that there is a difference of the cast members on a Disney cruise. I mean, the cast members are wonderful no matter where you go.
Yeah. But
there is a certain, I think, level you find on a Disney cruise. You find that in Chronos Club.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you find absolute above and beyond, and you will make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can pretty much guarantee that.
100%.
And that's how we felt we've done with, Sydney and Joy and Patty. What were some of the offerings that evening? Because we had a full meal. I mean, we always had the pasta and the marinara.
Yes.
That marinara is so good.
Yeah. It's either the marinara or the meat sauce.
Yep. Yes. No, that night it was meat sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And the pasta is cooked absolutely perfect.
Was it that? I don't want to get my days.
That was the
mixed up.
That was the night with the fish.
Because I ate that. It was good.
Yeah. They always have the giant spread where you can build kind of charcuterie. They're going to have meats and cheeses. They have the pan con tomate that I absolutely love. What I ended up doing over the course of this is I would go, they have this amazing shaved ham, smoked ham. That's super good. And they've got some really good cheeses. So I started taking the toasted bread that you would use for the tomatoes. And I started making little sandwiches out of them with the ham and with the cheese. And then do you know what I spread on it? That fig jam.
Oh,
and it was so super good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to have a ton of different offerings. And again, you're not sitting down and getting a plated meal.
Right.
But you certainly can sit down and eat a bowl of pasta. You ended up doing pasta with the pesto.
Yes, I did. It was
that you
so
really
good.
enjoyed.
Yes.
And it will fill you up.
Yep.
Like you can definitely make a meal out of this. So I think it's super worth doing. We decided to head down real quick because I knew that our friend Jamie was working down at Three Bridges and I figured Carol was probably working. Jamie's the one who runs Sangria University. She is absolutely wonderful at it. So knowledgeable. And then Carol is just one of the bubbliest, nicest human beings.
She is.
Most loving people you will ever meet. So if you ever go there and can have either Jamie or Carol as your wait staff, I actually would recommend that you ask for them.
Yeah.
So this is when the cold was starting to set in. And they let us know they're actually closing up
Yep.
that night early at 10
Mhm.
p.m. And that their plans for Saturday and Sunday were to open the bar only with to-go food from 4:30 to 10.
Correct.
So they weren't even going to have wait staff. It was going to be bartenders, kitchen staff. That
Yep.
was it. Little did we know that evening, a pipe would burst. And I'm still not sure if they've reopened as of today. They were not, I believe, as of yesterday still.
Wow.
So originally closing for inclement weather, ended up with a burst pipe, but we literally went down and just to say hello.
Yep.
So then what did we go to do from Kaylin's wishes?
Yes, this was Kaylin's wishes. We went back to Disney Hollywood Studios and watched Sunset Season's Greetings and all of those because there's about four of them.
4 of them. And I think the whole thing only runs 15 to 20 minutes. So you can really stand there for 15, 20 minutes and catch all 4.
Yep.
And highly recommend it. It's worth it. And it's running all night after dark up until park close. So it's very easy to catch.
Yep.
And it's great because they're not in any sort of sequential order where it's like you have to be there to start with the first one.
Oh,
There's no,
Correct.
constant story going amongst them. So the Starbucks is right there. Get yourself, a hot beverage if you want, because it was definitely getting cold.
Yes. So, and after that, she really didn't care about Phantasmic. She just, again, wanted to close it down. So I think they actually wanted to ride some rides.
Yeah.
So we did Star Tours. Then we did Alien Swirling Saucers.
Kids had an absolute blast with that acronym.
Oh, yeah.
They're at that age where, saying Alien Swirling Saucers, the ASS out loud is very, very humorous to a 12-year-old girl. Let's just say that.
Yes.
So.
Very funny. But then, so then we were ending out our night and we did Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah.
And that was cold, but that was fun. And we just had such a wonderful, wonderful evening.
I want to say this was, I didn't note the times at this point. I want to say it was like 8:54 that we were getting on.
Yeah.
Slinky Dog Dash. And we had taken advantage of the DAS pass for this. But of course, going right there at closing, your standby waits are going to be less as well.
Yep.
And not that we want you to keep cast members there any later than they need to be, but you can show up, as long as it's prior to park closing, get in a queue, and they will let you ride the ride, even if the park closes down. And then you're walking out with everybody else.
Right.
And what was great is Chronos Club closes at 10. We actually got a bus and got back in time to go up and have dessert and
That was
after
awesome.
dinner drinks up in Chronos Club.
Yes.
Which we absolutely loved. What's your new Chronos Club beverage of choice? They're gonna have to label the Rhonda.
Well, you
I technically invented it
it,
last time,
I guess.
But
First of all, Ashley and Karen told us about this Liquor 43.
yeah,
And they're called tiny beers. And you get Liquor 43 and they put a little half and half in it. And it looks like a little tiny beer. And it's actually super good to drink together. They had Liquor 43 up there and Bailey's, and you get a little bit of the Liquor 43, a little bit of the Bailey's, and you mix it together, and that actually turns out to be a very good little sipping dessert liqueur.
yeah, super delicious.
Yeah.
It's a good way to end the night up there, watching
Yeah.
some fireworks from Harmonious, and
It was super
closing down. And then they've got wonderful desserts.
Oh, yeah.
From cookies to brownies to little cakes.
to little tarts. And
Those little like fruit tart things
Yep.
are super refreshing
Yep.
and delicious. So absolutely, love getting to spend the time up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up our first 2 days here, and then we will go ahead and record part 2, and we will let you know all about Christmas Eve, all about Christmas Day, what we thought, and what we maybe think for next year. So we hope that you will join us for part number 2 of our Christmas journey to Universal and to Walt Disney World. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Get those brand new episodes, usually every Tuesday and Friday. You're getting 2 on Friday this week, though, but still want you to hit subscribe. And we would be super thankful if, as long as you're out there, you're in iTunes and all, wherever you may listen, could you pretty please leave us a rating and review?
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.